Hey guys, please I need your advice. A company is willing to give me certificate of sponsorship, but the company doesn't have shifts. Is it possible for me to use it and apply for a visa? Then on reaching the UK, I can get another job elsewhere? Is it? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scholastica. If you're new here, and in this channel I talk about nursing in the UK, life in the UK, immigration, travel, and all that juicy dish. So make sure you stick around, hit the subscribe button if you've not, and join the family. So let me quickly paint a scenario for you. Mr. A is a care assistant. He has been applying for care assistant jobs. He has been looking for jobs, hectare scatter, and then all of a sudden he received this email that, look, I have a certificate of sponsorship to give to you. I have a job offer for you, but there is a catch. I don't have any specific work hours to attach to that certificate of sponsorship. So it's going to be stated there that we are going to ask for you whenever we need you. And you can apply for a visa and come over to the UK with that certificate of sponsorship, but we are not responsible for you. We're not going to be held accountable if at the end of the month you don't have any shift worked with us, because that is what is stated in your contract. And Mr. A, because he's desperate to get a job, because he wants to leave his country, he wants to move over to the UK, he sees this as a very good opportunity, and then he grabs the opportunity, and before you know it, he's down in the UK. Now 1 month has passed. He's at home, he has rented a house, no money to pay rent. He's waiting for his employer to send him a shift. No shift has come. He waits the 2nd month because obviously he came to the UK with a little bit of cash, right? So he waits the 2nd month, he waits the 3rd month. No shift is coming. He has not worked, he has not been paid a dime. He's in the UK, he's spending the money he came with, he's buying food, he's paying rent, he's buying everything he needs, and God help him if he even came with his family, because that is even more expenses on his head. However, if you are coming with your family, it's actually better, but I'm going to get into that part of the video later on as we progress. So Mr. A goes to the internet and starts looking for a job. Oh God, I need a job. Any job available. I just want to work. I've been here in the UK for 3 months. I've been sitting down. I've been waiting for my employer to send me a shift, but no shift is coming. I need a job. So Mr. A starts applying to different jobs vacancies, hoping that somebody is going to reach out to him. Unfortunately, he gets a call back and they're like, you know what? We are willing to employ you. However, we need a full-time employee. But you cannot work a full-time job because you already have a full-time job with your employer that brought you over to the UK. That is the first problem. You received a certificate of sponsorship from your employer. So that means that you are bound to that employer. You have to work with that employer. And if you are working for a second employer, you can only work a maximum of 20 hours a week. Most of the employers here would want to employ you, but because you can only work 20 hours a week, they would not want to take you. They'll prefer to employ someone that can work a full-time job. But that does not mean that Mr. A would not find an employer eventually. He would, but it will take more time. So let's continue with the story, right? So Mr. A loses that opportunity because he's still joined to the hip with his employer that brought him over to the UK. Now he goes back to the contract and he's like, you know what? I think I want to even leave this employer. I'm not even benefiting anything from this employer. I've been in the UK, I've not done any shift. I want to leave this employer. So he goes to the employer and says, look, my employer, I'm leaving you. I want to end this contract. I want to get another job. Fine, the employer says, fine, but you have to pay me back for the amount I used to sponsor you over. So Mr. A, who has not worked a dime in the UK, who has not saved any money, has not earned any money in the UK, would have to cough up money to buy himself out of the contract. Which is fine. If he can afford it, he buys himself out of the contract and then he gets another job. He starts switching his visa, he starts going through all the checks, the documentation, and then eventually he finds another job, which is what a lot of you are expecting, right? Which is what a lot of you that are in this position wish would happen. But most of the time it doesn't happen that way. And even when it happens that way, it takes I want to say 6 months, but I don't want to break your heart. So it takes like, let's say, some months before you can get another employer and then switch. Now, for this person that sent me this message, you said in your message that you have somebody, although I did not read that part of the message out, but the person that sent me this message actually has a friend already in the UK that is willing to accommodate him, feed him, house him until he's able to find his feet. But come on, guys, this is not Nigeria, this is the UK. How long is that going to last? No matter how tight you think you and your friend is, it will get to a point that he or she will start expecting you to contribute financially to the upkeep of the house. So you are living in the house, you are not paying any rent, you are not adding any money to feeding, you are not paying for gas, you are not paying for electricity, you are not doing none of that, nothing. You are just in the house, sitting down, your friend will go to work, come back. Before you know it, resentment. Before you know it, Oga, Mr. A, pack out of my house. I know we are friends, so, but this is the UK. I cannot be footing your bill and you just be relaxed doing nothing. So Mr. A gets kicked out of the house and he's into the streets. Now he's looking for where he's going to put his head, and that is when a lot of people start breaking the terms of their visas. That is when they are going to start looking for other jobs that are not in their job category. So because you came to the UK with a health and care visa, you can only work in an occupation that has the same occupation code. So for example, you are a healthcare assistant, but you could not get any healthcare assistant job, but there are like McDonald's shop, there is a retail shop close to you that is willing to offer you a job, but you are going to be breaking the terms of your contract if you accept that job. And that is problem number 2. You have a job available, but you cannot accept that job because it is breaking the terms of your visa. And even if you get that job, you still have to adhere to the 20 hours a week rule, and if you don't, then you are breaking the terms of your visa. And if you decide to go ahead and pick that job, you have to either change your visa all over, you have to get that retail company to sponsor you. And how many retail companies actually sponsors? Like, how many of them can actually give you certificate of sponsorship? Let me know in the comment section, because I've not really done any research about that, so I don't want to say what I don't know in this video. Now, if you are lucky enough to even find a retail shop, a retail company, or any other company that is willing to give you a certificate of sponsorship, then fine, you go ahead, you change your visas, you do everything, blah 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 blah, you change your visa, and then you become legal in the UK, and then congratulations, that is what we are hoping for. However, what if it doesn't go that way? What do you do? Have you thought of that? What if you are stranded, you come over to the UK, you can't find any job, your employer is not giving you any job because you cannot actually complain. That is what is in your contract. What are you going to do about that? Now, let me talk about family. It's actually easier if you come with a dependent, right? This is a trick. So if you decide to come with your wife, or let's say the wife is the main visa holder, right, and then decides to come with the husband. Now, there's good news for that, because the husband has a dependent visa. He's not bound by any rules, right? A dependent visa can work anywhere he wants. Well, not anywhere. He cannot be a sports person, he cannot be a doctor, I think some other specialist fields, he cannot do that, but he can take all these retail jobs, he can be a care assistant, he can do any other thing. So that is actually going to be easier on you. If you are thinking of picking that job offer that does not have any specific work hours attached to it, then I think it's better for you to come with your dependent, so that while you are still hustling and trying to change your visa, or trying to change another employer, or waiting for your employer to give you a shift, your wife or your husband on the dependent visa can go out and hustle. He or she can go and work, and he or she will be the one footing the bills in the meantime until you are able to find your feet. Now, there's another option for you. You can decide to register with an agency, but some of these agencies actually want someone that has UK work experience. Now, you can volunteer, you can go to your employer and just volunteer to go on induction, just volunteer to work without a pay. just so you can get the experience and your employer can send you off and say you have so 6 months experience. Most of the agencies ask for 6 months work experience, so your employer can sign you off and be like, oh yeah, he or she has worked with us for 6 months, so you can register with an agency. However, you still cannot work more than 20 hours a week even with an agency. But the good news with that is that the agency is going to pay you higher. So for example, if your main employer is going to pay you like, let's say, £11 per hour, then working with an agency, you can actually earn like 16, 17, 18 pounds per hour if you are smart about it. If you pick night shifts, if you pick weekend shifts, if you pick to work during the public holidays, then you can actually maximize that period and make some money for yourself. But yeah, those are your options. So you let me know in the comment section. Do you think it's worth it? I'm not discouraging you. I'm not encouraging you. It's left for you to decide. So I've given you the pros and the cons, I think. So anyway, think of it again and weigh your options. If it's something you want to go ahead and risk, then go ahead and risk it. Life itself is a risk. But if you are not someone that is a risk taker, if you are not someone that can adapt quickly to the environment, then don't do it. Don't do it. And another advice I'm going to tell you guys, if you have a skill, kudos, because you can actually be at home and be making money from your skill. So if you know how to make hair, good skill. You guys don't know how much I actually have to spend to make my hair in Northern Ireland, because we don't have a lot of hairdressers around. So most of the people that make my hair, they are actually nurses or care assistants that have gone to work, closed, come back, and then they just make my hair at home. So that is it. If you have a skill, you can come make money with your skill. If you know how to make clothes, you can sew, put them up on eBay, on Amazon, what was the other one, Etsy. You can make money like that. But anyway, it's your decision. Make sure, I'm not an immigration consultant, right? This is just my opinion, so I'm not encouraging you to break the terms of your visa. Read through your visa terms and conditions, guys. Please don't break your terms and conditions of your visa. Nobody should come and drag me in this video because I'm just saying my opinion. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share, comment. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, oga, madam, what you dey wait for? Hit the subscribe button below and join the family. And I love you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.